So I would, dude, if like you're saying, tropical, lush,
Yeah,
huge river, right? It would have butted right up against there.
absolutely. I've been saying it for 8 years, 10 years. I've been screaming this, and now some people believe me. Some people had similar theories on this. Some people added some more context to what I was talking about, and now, at a very minimum, you have to say at least I'm right. They're not burial chambers, and at a very minimum, the Egyptians again did not build these. But this takes us on to the next step. And again, before y'all call me a racist, no human built these. All right.
Yeah, it's not about that at all.
Yeah.
It's about
Yeah. No
just
man.
like it's kind of unimaginable. And we don't know enough to know enough to say.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what we don't know. There's like something going on here that's bigger than
Exactly.
culture
So I can
wars.
tell you right now what is absolutely fact, right? Is that right around shortly after the fall of King Solomon to witchcraft and fiduciary of all sorts of nature he wasn't supposed to be messing with, the Israelites who owned that area basically started sacrificing their children to Molech, and it made God angry. And so God sent Nebuchadnezzar out of Babylon to sweep down and kill and destroy and burn everything and take them all into captivity. And he did. And that'll take you right into the very beginning of the story of the book of Daniel in the Bible. And it says in there, as a reward for being loyal and doing what God asked him to do, God gave Egypt to Nebuchadnezzar as a reward. Nebuchadnezzar then took his powerful, unstoppable army down to Egypt and killed all the Egyptians that were down there. All of them. Took the rest of them into slavery, looted everything, took all the gold, took all the artifacts, took them all back up to Babylon, which is modern day Baghdad, right? The Kemites, which were in mid part of Africa, around that area, 40, 50 years later, migrated north and they found those ruins. Those are your modern day Egyptians, period. Don't argue with me because you'll lose. And even modern historians, you don't have to take my word for it. Go look it up yourself. We'll tell you. That's it. Now, what this discovery right here does not only opens up that book, what I just said goes back. This also, in my humble opinion, puts one more check marks next to the Book of Enoch and the Sumerian tablet tales of these Anunnaki, these watchers, these 10-foot tall beings, right, with advanced technology that came
Yeah.
down. And it would explain again why they took the Book of Enoch J out of there. And it opens up some worms, fam.
It does. So I saw a story in passing and I didn't get an opportunity to read the whole thing. They found like a human footprint where they definitely shouldn't have found it. And I wish I could look it up, but I want to say, so I think about this a lot, right? Like, cause I try to go deep into these legends, right? So I go back and I say, all right, look, what's interesting to me is this, right? There have been humans, like genetically modern humans on Earth. We're going to say conservatively 300,000 years.
Correct.
We domesticated dogs 60,000 years ago.
Right.
So you're telling me that we made them pets 60,000 years ago, and then we what? Sat in caves with our pets for 50,000 years?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we started building pyramids and shit?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't
You know what I
add up.
mean?
It
And
doesn't add up,
so,
bro. Yeah.
so I went through and I was like, all right, well, what would be the deciding factors there, right? Like, what would keep us from advancing, right? Like the temperature, the climate. What did the Earth look like at that time, right?
Food, war.
So I went deep into this, right? So yes, the world was pretty hostile, right? Genetically modern humans emerged perhaps 50 to 70,000 years ago, right? Uh, there was a hostile environment. It was, I mean, looking for the research. It was like, it was really cold. And so there's just this one kind of survivable band
Mm-hmm.
existed for a bit. And yeah, like,
Well, I can even
we were
add.
getting hit with stuff.
I can add on.
So,
I can add on to your theory as well. Is that I think what we're scientifically right now, this version of us is called Homo sapien sapien, right? That's what we're called, correct? Right.
right.
We are not only, well, we are supposedly the most mentally advanced that we've ever been, but we're also the physically weakest. If you ever encountered a Neanderthal, he would handle you in a fist fight.
Yeah,
right?
you would.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they were built for
they were
that
powerful.
environment. They were very strong. They were very powerful. I actually think that some of the remnants of them have survived, and that when you hear these wild man stories that people talk about, hey, they saw a Bigfoot or they saw whatever, but it looked more human than it did ape. I think that could be some offshoots of it. But this Homo sapien sapien version of us, and we're fairly strong individuals, but they would smoke us any type of fist fight or whatever. They would overpower us easy, right? And that was because of the way the environment was. And so we had these massive gaps in there. And if you go back to the book of Enoch and you go back to Genesis and you go back to the Sumerian tablets, something sped up our evolution, right? And I'm telling you right now that this is actually going to tie in very well to what I actually think this discovery has expanded what I actually think that pyramid is. That area. I'm going to generalize a little bit, right? So I'm going to unpack this, Jay, and then I'm going to get your thoughts on it.
Okay.
That area, once upon a time, before the flood, was a tropical environment, right? The flood was so devastating, it actually changed temperature, changed the climate, changed a lot of
whatever
stuff.
the event was that caused the flood, right?
You read the Sumerian tablets if you want to go the Star Trek route. Go read the book of Enoch if you want to go the angel route. But they all say the same thing. Something came down, took us, turned us into some things, also started
gave us a little boost.
Gave us a little boost. Also was splicing DNA and making hybrid animals. That pyramid, hear me out on this, that pyramid, I think, was the cornerstone or capital city of a global civilization that would explain the pyramids found all over the globe. But I think that was where they came down. That's where I think they started. Because if it says they came down on Mount Hermon, I think it was in somewhere in the Middle East.
Mount Hebron?
Hebron, yeah, Mount Hebron.
It was Mount Hebron, yeah.
And basically just go south and there's Egypt. It's right there, right? Just go down. I actually think that not only was this a power plant, dog, this was also some type of supercomputer laboratory type of AI that they were using to communicate globally or do their whole things. Because you got to say that if they're coming down here to splice DNA, right? Splice DNA, they had to have some type of what we would refer a computer or a lab or something to run these sequences, right? They had to run these sequences, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I think this was ground zero, man.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.